Now, Fiziev is minus 230. Gaethje is plus 195. Now, that's double. What? Fiziev is a 2-1 favorite to beat Justin Gaethje based on what? On what would you possibly base that? I mean, this isn't like a maybe. This is a get over to DraftKings and go get this action right now if you think that I'm wrong. First off, I really don't know how Fiziev is supposed to win that fight. I understand that the UFC would like him to, and that matters. I understand that the UFC thinks that he can win the fight. That matters. That matters. They never have a hand in it. What I'm speaking about is when you're trying to look unbiased, but you so clearly do have a bias, and it comes through. I think it's fair for me to point it out. If Justin Gaethje wins on Saturday, he's not getting a title shot. It's not even discussion of him having a title shot. But the number one contender in that division is not yet named. And that's even in light of Charles Oliveira and Benny Dariush being signed. Charles and Benny is signed, and you've heard rumors that it's a number one contenders match, but you haven't been told it is a number one contenders match. And do you want to know why? To leave the door open for Fiziev. That's why. It has always been to leave the door open for Fiziev. It's not a straight-up number one contenders match. In that, if Gaethje wins, he doesn't advance. It's only for one guy. That's why it hasn't been announced for Fiziev. And there could be ways that are very reasonable where Fiziev would be a favorite. Very reasonable. If you thought Gaethje didn't quite have his eye on the ball the way as he used to, right? And what do we know about life, guys? If it goes up, it must come down. So Gaethje's out. If he's not as focused for those championship rounds, if he's not quite as prepared to go those championship rounds, that could come back to bite him in the ass. This is a co-main event. It's a co-main event. Justin Gaethje is going to be booed. He's not going to be the favorite at home. British crowd, man, those guys aren't any more fair than you. Brits aren't going to be booing Justin Gaethje, just so you understand. And they're not just welcoming Fiziev into the fold, by the way. And I sure wouldn't suspect that any of you think that somebody of Gaethje's level could be swayed because of the boos of a crowd. But with what common opponent is it that you saw them fight and you thought Fiziev looked so much better? When this fight was being talked about, you guys didn't even swoop in and want to see it. No, you were fine with it. Yeah. You're still, yeah, I'm fine with it. You're still there. I got to hear from some of you pricks in the comments. Oh, Chael, this is my number one fight. It's a co-main event, so please don't say that it was. It's not even the number one fight that you want to see this weekend. Fiziev is a very straight, very dangerous guy on his feet. Can we all agree? Can we all agree that he can punch and kick, but not in a fashion that is unbecoming? He's not punching and kicking you in a fashion that the opponent can only take one or two of those. Bobby Green stood in front of him for 15 straight minutes, just by example. Just by example. Took his best kicks, took his best punches as well. Just by example. I don't know somebody that stood in front of Justin Gaethje for 15 straight minutes. Probably get you pretty close there with Poirier. Probably get you pretty close there with Eddie Alvarez. But I'm just sharing for you, I'm not ready to concede. I will admit of where the fight could go for Fiziev on his feet is the best. I will concede to that. What I'm not willing to concede is that he is meaningfully better than Justin Gaethje there. And the one thing that you guys forget about Justin Gaethje, you forget it every single time. I remind you of it, and then Gaethje proves you more right than he does me, but this is an all-American wrestler. My only point is, though he likes to stand up and bang, though he likes his left and his right, though he's become famous for a calf kick, it's not what his roots are. And you think Justin Gaethje can't wrestle until he gets confronted with a situation, i.e. Michael Chandler at Madison Square Garden, where he must wrestle, and then you find out how damn good he is. So we have a contingency plan, a backup, our bench, our JV. is enough to get his hand raised. I'm not willing to concede for you that the varsity plan, that the stand up and the go out there, I mean, do you think Fiziev's going to finish him? Do you think he's going to knock Justin Gaethje down or hit him enough times that he falls down and he can't get up? I don't think that you believe that. I don't think that you think that. Even those of you who think that Fiziev should be a favorite 2-1 over Justin Gaethje, you don't think he's going to finish it. You'd have bet it to finish it if you really thought that. So if he's not going to finish him, what's he going to do? He's just going to point him and Gaethje isn't going to fire back? Gaethje's not going to throw those calf kicks, the same one as he hit on absolutely everybody? He's not going to land a whole bunch of those? What does Fiziev have to turn to? The crowd? Go consult your geography. I got to tell you, it's a little annoying for me to hear that Fiziev is the hometown guy. The foggiest idea how you come to that conclusion. But even after you do come to that conclusion, if you can't knock him down, no part of you thinks he's going to out-wrestle him, but you also don't think he's going to try. No part of you thinks that he's going to submit him, but you also don't think he's going to try. I mean, I've really boxed you in here. You think Fiziev's going to win. You don't think it's going to be by knockout, but you think he's going to win the fight on his feet. I boxed you in. There's no way to a 2-1 spread that the community truly believes that. And as obvious as it is that somebody over there is crossing their fingers for a little bit of parity and get Fiziev to the top, as confident as that is, they weren't confident enough to make it a feature match. They weren't confident quite enough in their guy, in their outside chance, in the one to go head-to-head with Islam. They weren't confident enough to make it the main event. I don't know how confident you guys really are. I don't think you've been over to DraftKings. I don't think you knew that it was minus 230. I didn't know. I don't think that you saw you could get Gaethje at plus 195. Now that I just told you, I'd be real curious how much this line moves.